So we've got a great panel here now to talk to you about all things disruption and all things blockchain, from smart contracts to currency, security, all kinds of stuff. So let's learn from these experts, and please join me in welcoming Sam Abbasi. He's a partner at Bushido Labs. And my colleague, Chris Sofer, who gets to have this fun convo with you guys today. Thank you.
So my name is Sam Abbasi. I'm a partner and engineer at the Bushido Lab. So we do blockchain development and research. One of the things I'm most excited about really are kind of decentralized governance. So like Nick stated, it really isn't so much about the coin only. It's also about how it facilitates and really what it facilitates and why people are using it in the first place. So this aspect of this new type of business model, really, of corporations that aren't necessarily centrally governed, is something that we really do a lot of research and development in, and something that we're pushing through really hard. The three main projects that we're working on now are leveraging that kind of decentralized governance ecosystem, where people have a reason to come in and out. And we're also working on a coin protocol that I can't talk about now, but I would love to talk about it with you guys afterwards.
Okay, so top secret coin protocol. That's something to be excited about. There's been a lot of movement around sort of using blockchain for verification and trust, and I wonder if we might talk about some of those applications for trust while this vacuum cleaner gets started.
So the provenance is important in art, for instance, but taking that same model and applying it to land titles is something a lot of people have done research on as well. India has this problem where the registration to the land isn't necessarily documented, or even if it isn't necessarily trustable, because there is a central organization that's controlling it. So if you put that onto a blockchain, then that itself is not only transferable, but it's also immutable, so it cannot be changed. So there's several use cases that can be applied.
One of the things that brings up is that business processes are being disrupted in a really big way, and what other parts of the business ecosystem are liable to be moved by the blockchain in this way?
I think an important business or enterprise level application of blockchain really is within the next 5 years. So I really think any major corporation that has multiple different regional offices with different admin controls will be using a blockchain of sorts. Now, the issue is the only way it can get hacked really is for people. I mean, the protocol is bulletproof. You can't really break through that. It's a matter of the political nature of the people that are actually implementing the protocol is how it can get hacked. So businesses right now, their current business models do not and are not compatible with a public, true blockchain. At least not the way that Satoshi and his cohorts created in the first place. So permission blockchains I think are huge. Hyperledger is a Linux Foundation-led organization, an umbrella group that has multiple different projects within it. So Intel, IBM, all have different projects. And it kind of is a worse blockchain, really. But it is kind of like the intermediary to get to the true, groundbreaking, revolutionizing, blockchain application that we hopefully will get to.
So what do we make of cryptocurrency's role in this space?
I mean, with respect to cryptos, I think the bigger question and the question that cryptos try to answer is what is value, right? Like we don't really, at least from the people I've spoken to, we've kind of lost perception of what value really is, and there's things that people find valuable that we don't really have a means of exchange or a way to represent as it stands, right? There's cultural capital, natural capital, social capital, not just utility capital. We live in an industrial economy, but now people have a way to arbitrarily dictate what, or at least create a representation of value for what they think would facilitate an economy or ecosystem. So cryptocurrencies, are the first use case, and right now they're dirty. Right now it's a couple people. I mean, Bitcoin, the mining pools, I think there's 12 mining pools that really control Bitcoin. So it is very primitive in its current application, but it is kind of, in a very abstract way, the beginnings of what it can be. So there can be coins and tokens and different things that can represent what you want in an ecosystem that people can arbitrarily come in and out. And that governance and protocol is set by the different stakeholders in there. So cryptos are just the beginning. Yeah.
What happens to kind of quasi-governmental entities like OPEC, or did you say OFAC? OPEC, like OPEC, and how commodities are traded, these kinds of things where huge amounts of money are moving around the world across economies. What happens to that?
I mean, the whole idea and the whole principle of blockchain is to facilitate their destruction, really, right? Like you don't want groups like that hanging around and making decisions. But it's important to remember, cryptocurrencies are inherently also very political. I mean, this is a combination of computer science, economics, and game theory. You're incentivizing people to interact, but those same people have incentives to collaborate with each other. So again, it's trying to hit this ideal while still, trucking through all our human, intuition of grouping together, making decisions without other people.
Thank you so much, y'all, for your questions and your time. I'm sure these folks are eager to talk to you more about blockchain. I don't know anything about it, but I learned a lot. Hopefully you did too. I'll ask you guys to step down to the side in case people want to say hi.